Hi guys, this is Helen from DIY Sew Chick. Today we're going to read patterns. I know it may seem intimidating, but it's not really intimidating. So what I did was I got a pattern, I blew it up so we could go through it together so that you could kind of get an idea of how easy this is. It seems complicated with measurements, but it's not that hard. So let's take the back of this pattern. Well, let's take the front of this one. This is one I've had for a while. It's an easy pattern. And if you look on the back, it shows you the styles right here in the pants. And it shows you all the measurements and the custom fits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this next pattern, which this was a dress pattern. It shows all the styles right here that you can make with this one pattern. And what's nice about it, this pattern I got goes from extra small all the way up to XXL. And it tells you your sizes from 4 to 6 up to 24 to 26. Now, when you look at this, I think that what you should do is go by your size. Like for instance, if you are a size 42, go by a size large. It's always to make it bigger, then you can take it in, then to make it smaller, you have to start all over again. So I'm a size 12. So I always go by this size right here, 12 to 14, because I can always take it in because usually it's too big. Now, if you go down the column, it'll say 60 yards. It'll say 60 inches, which is the measurement across your fabric. And then you go right over and it'll say this is how much you need, which is 1 5/8 yards. Well, just to clarify that, I would just get 2 yards of fabric just for extra for mistakes. Now, when it says 60, okay, over here, 60, that's the measurement across the fabric. So I cut a little piece of fabric to give you an idea. This is just a small piece. Now usually in the store you get this large piece of fabric and it's doubled. So what they do is they cut it off, they measure it. But if you measure across it, they'll measure across it. It'll give you the measurement. It's normally either 35. It's normally either 35, 45, or 60. Most of the fabric that I get is 60. If it's smaller, just have the person who's cutting the fabric tell you that what it is, and that way you can use this measurement. For some reason, this pattern only has 60-inch fabric, which, I mean, that's great, but not all the time do you get 60-inch fabric. So if we go back to this pattern's really good because it has 45 and it has the 60. So if your fabric comes in either size, you can get it and it'll tell you. But my suggestion is always get more than you need for mistakes, because sometimes I've cut patterns wrong. I've cut just one piece wrong and I've had to run back to the store. So save yourself the headache. Always get more fabric. Okay, so then when you go down to the measurements, these measurements are hard to go by because they don't always measure up, because we as women are different sizes according to this. Sometimes I think these are European sizes, they're not American sizes, and they're just too small. So my suggestion is, if you look at this, measure yourself across your bust line so that you know how big you have to go with your size or with your bodice. And that will help you make it so that you don't make a mistake when you're cutting out your dress or you're cutting out your pattern. So measurements are key, and I think that's the way you should go. And then these are finished garments. So what they do is after you sew it together, they measure from here to here, and that's what your measurements are. So what you need to do, you can measure from here to here, but it's not going to be the same as on the pattern. So that's why I tell everyone, measure yourself first and go by your measurements and not the measurements on the pattern. So if you look at these, like I'm a size 12 and I've been sewing for years, and I always look at these and I go down a line, and it's when I measure it at the end when I'm finished with the product or the outfit, it's never this measurement. So don't get frustrated when you see these measurements and they don't add up, because like I said, I think it's a European size. So what your best bet is to do is to measure yourself from head to toe, your arms, and that'll be another video. And once you measure yourself, you'll have your exact measurements, and I would utilize them all the time. You can even make yourself a pattern so that you go by that bodice all the time, and that's something I'll have to show you in another video. Down further, this is French, so I'm not I'm not into the French sizes, but like I said, this is basically how you read the pattern from top to bottom. Most of the time when you buy fabric too, it is some people pre-wash their fabric. This is pre-wash. This is when you wash it. A lot of times they tell you to wash your fabric before you use it because you don't want to have an outfit. You make it, it's all nice, then you put it in a washing machine, it shrinks. So that's something that you can do, is always wash your fabric. I don't do it all the time. Sometimes I'll make the outfit and then I'll just go dry clean it, because sometimes the fabric cannot go in the washing machine and it will shrink up so much you might have to go buy more fabric. So that's something that you have to think about. But like I said, when you look at this, don't be intimidated by the measurements. I always go by my own measurements. I measure everything myself, and then I see, sometimes just for fun, I see how much this is right or how off it is with the measurements, because like I said, we're all different shapes and sizes. So basically your best bet is to measure that. And another thing too, if you look on here where it shows the 45, this is why I tell you to get more fabric, because if you see the 45 inches, it'll say, like whatever your size is, I'm a size 12, it'll say 2 yards, okay? And then if you go to 60, it'll say less. Either way, you want to get more fabric because of mistakes. And like I said, where it says your bust line is, your bust might be a little bigger than what this measurement is showing. So always measure yourself. This one shows the legs. This is the top and the legs, and it shows your measurements on the legs. And again, if you have your hip size, these pants might not even be close, because you might have to come out in the hips. So a lot of times that's not something that you should worry about. You should just measure yourself and you'll be correct. Another thing on this pattern which I like, it shows you the type of fabric that you should use, and it gives you idea, crepe, lightweight. It's great because it tells you the type of fabric, so you're not in the fabric store just looking around wondering what type of fabric you need. It tells you exactly what you need. In Notions, it'll tell you that you need bias tape, hooks and eyes, and then it'll tell you for the pants if you need elastic or a zipper. So this is where you get all your items that you need, so you don't have to keep running back to the store and getting everything, just running back and forth and making yourself go crazy. So make sure whenever you take your pattern, if you take it to the store, you could take just the outside cover, and there's always someone there that can help you if it's your first time looking at a pattern. So I hope this helps you when you do your first item, because it's not as intimidating as it seems. So try that and see if that works for you. If you have any suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments below, and like and subscribe my videos. All right, and I look forward to hearing from you.